Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot to get into because WWE 2K26's Ringside Pass Season 2 is coming tomorrow. We're getting Kelly, Demolition, and a ton of rewards that you may not or just may care about. And there's an Obafemi Persona card coming with that. And as you guys know, based on history, there's always a patch. So we're going to go on ahead and get into all that. But before we do, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. We are on our way to 23K subscribers. Let's go on ahead and get into it. First off, before we dive deeper into anything that has to do with a patch, let's talk about what we've seen lately. We got Rhea the Ripper, a new entrance for her that actually looks kind of cool. Now, there was a lot of upset people on the timeline because they were talking about how can 2K put so much effort in for something like that, and in their opinion, they feel that not so much effort is put into other things. Now, me personally, man, I do feel that this entrance is really cool. I'm not gonna go and say that this replaced other slots. Like, I think people forget that there's no slots being replaced, bro. Like, that whole conversation of this Borderlands thing replacing slots is just a hard take in my opinion. It just doesn't work that way. We've seen them go out their way to add wrestlers later in the year and do things like that. Like, there's no such thing as replacing a character. We've kind of had this similar conversation with the Pat McAfee pack. Now, obviously, we had a conversation just on this topic before, so we're not going to talk about that. But one thing I do want to point out is that the entrance motion is usable for other created wrestlers as well, so it is not exclusive. So that is one thing to go on ahead and keep in mind with all of this, because a lot of people were waiting to see if that was going to be the case, and that indeed is the case. I do wonder if a lot of those parts that they have will be used for other created wrestlers as well, because for me personally, I feel like that is one thing that can make things just a little bit better. Give us some superhero entrances at that point if people are going to be creating superheroes and throwing that entrance on them. I mean, again, it's not a bad entrance. Like, I'll just say that. It looks pretty good, but I understand that it just seems out of place, and I agree with a lot of you and your opinions. So before y'all take something and try to flip it and say that I'm, what's that word y'all say, glazing? Yeah, before y'all say all that, just know, like, I just think the entrance kind of cool, but I do agree that it shouldn't be an RSP. Now, we did get a first look at the Persona card. Shout out to JB for this one, man. He went ahead and was able to get the post out, and we see that CM Punk has two Persona cards, one without the mask, one with the mask. So that is also something to go ahead and keep in mind, that we are going to be getting some My Faction Persona cards. The Legend cards will be Sapphires, and these Borderland Persona cards will be Rubies. Now, one thing that a lot of people are pointing out is that there's a Bret the Hitman Hart 1997 card coming to My Faction. People are saying that that is supposed to be a different model than the one that we're used to seeing. It may be an attire change, something of that nature, but it is not a Persona card. I do hope that they shock us, and it is, because there's a lot of people out there that have been waiting for a new model for Bret the Hitman Hart, so this could be a very big opportunity for 2K to pull something out and surprise us. So we'll have to go on ahead and see. Maybe it's something that they decided to remove the logo so folks can be surprised once they see this type of stuff, but I'm not sure. I feel like it would have been a good way to, you know, ease things down a little bit and get people excited, but we'll have to see what happens. Now that we got all of that out the way, let's talk about a patch, y'all. We obviously know that patch 1.07 took care of a lot of things, but there are still some massive issues in the game, and we got to talk about them servers. Them servers need the love. I'm hoping that they were prioritized and they are fixed come patch 1.08. I do think that it is deeper than a patch at this point. We always see online stability when it comes down to the patch notes. So at what point do you start to think, all right, a patch isn't going to fix this. What's really going to fix this is maybe an investment or some sort of new server program. Just, I'm not really educated on anything with servers or game developing, but it does seem like that is the thing that they need to go on ahead and upgrade the most when it comes down to the experience that players are having. I mean, match types have been removed twice this year, and they are still not back. They came back momentarily and then got pulled again. So there's obviously something big going on with these match types. And even then, I've played triple threat backstage brawls and they still lag. Even after patch 1.08, it did feel like it was in a better spot before that patch. But again, hopefully they are working on some sort of stabilization, because I know that a lot of players are very, very upset at that experience, and they continuously talk about it online, on X. Just social media is fully plagued with so many of these gameplay videos that people are experiencing on the online side of things. And I understand that that is a very niche thing that people like to do, play online in a WWE game, because if we are being completely honest, a large percentage prefers to stay in universe mode, exhibition, my rise. Like, that's where the bulk of the WWE base is at when it comes down to 2K. But online is still very important in my opinion, especially when those same people are spending just as much as the people that play offline. I feel like the attention needs to be prioritized towards online to give those folks, including myself, a better online experience. So hopefully that is something that is taken care of. Universe mode is also something for me that I do play a lot. If you guys have been watching my streams on the Just Bryan live channel, if you guys are not subbed yet, make sure to go ahead and sub to that channel. We stream every weekend on there, and we are going to be doing more and more stuff. But you look at universe mode, I was playing it and I was seeing glitches happen from time to time where the wrong championship belts show and rivalry cutscenes, and that's just something on its own that needs to be fixed. It's not the biggest game breaking thing. I feel like at its core, universe mode is probably working as good as it can be since launch, but there's still those little bugs and things like that that do throw you off from time to time, especially when it comes down to the way that it's actually intended to work with the cutscenes. So personally for me, that is something that I am hoping to see improved on and fixed with universe, and just hoping that, you know, the experience is just more stabilized. More than anything, I think that's what everybody's hoping for at this point, and that's where I stand with universe mode, even though there may be some more things that a lot of you guys are speaking on, but this is one of the bigger ones that I have seen thus far. Now, if you are on the PlayStation Pro, there is an issue that is happening where the screen seems super grainy and it just looks very, very odd in my opinion, and the turnbuckles are blurred. It's like the game is enhanced for PS5 Pro, but it's really not, because it doesn't happen on the base PS5 nor the Xbox Series X. I have heard reports of issues similar happening in the My Faction mode, but anywhere you go on the PS5 Pro on this game, whether it's Exhibition, Universe, you're bound to run into the same blurred turnbuckle issues along with grain on the sides of the apron and everything like that. It even happens a lot with Gunther's coat. Like, I've tried to take clips, but it happens so suddenly sometimes that you don't see it, but it can take away from the visual of the match, right? And especially on a console that is that expensive and that good, that you don't really expect to have any sort of issues like that, especially with how well other games run on the PS5 Pro. So again, this is hopefully something that is fixed in the next patch, and again, I'm just hoping for just something solid in terms of, you know, patch updates and all that. There's been a lot of complaints and about the state of the game. I personally don't think the state of the game is unplayable, but for some it reportedly is, because the deletion utility is not working as well as it should. It crashes their game once they reach 2,000 logos, so there are issues as well with some of this stuff. So again, it has to be looked into and fixed, because some people literally cannot start their game once they reach 2,000 logos. Hopefully this is all a priority and more things down the line as well. Maybe we get some new additions to the game, as that is something that they don't shy away from, especially if it's something that they couldn't get in there at the time of launch. So I am overall excited. It's always an exciting time when that second DLC pack, that third DLC pack is coming around. We'll have to see how they follow up, especially with the massive backlash that we've seen from this community thus far. If you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna catch y'all. Peace.